All right. Well, I'm a retired academic and I do this entirely for fun. So thank you for having me. Um, Multidimensional data analysis. Um, all right. So that's the overview. Um, what do we mean by scientific computing? Well, I take that means working with numbers. And the primary data structures that will be used is a generic vec of some kind of numerical end type, or vec of vecs, in order to deal with large numbers of vectors or matrices. Um, and using this existing data structure, um, we were able to combine in one coherent crate statistics, information theory, vector algebra, which involves operations on several vectors, linear algebra, operations on matrices, and data analysis, which is my main interest here in this talk. I hasten to add that not all of them are covered entirely. I just picked what I thought were the best methods, trying to keep the crate compact. And so the treatment of the ND or n-dimensional data is constructed from the first principles, and I'll introduce some novel concepts. It's always useful to have a real problem to work on as a test ground and a motivation. So my problem is coming from a website called numer.ai, which is a tournament competition which is uses anonymized data from the markets, and basically the people are predicting, classifying 5 different outcome classes which are numbered 0 to 1, and there is a training set of classified instances which is currently over 2.25 million instances, and it actually grows weekly, and daily set of some just under 5,000 instances which need to be classified by a number 0 to 1, and any placed out of the correct order will incur penalties. Each instance has 2,376 features, so in effect it is one point in 2,376 dimensional space. Outcome classes form large, densely intersecting clouds, and not all of which are of the same size, because some of the training examples for some of the outcomes are more numerous than others. So now most data analysis and machine learning problems can be actually formulated in these terms, though not readily solved. Instead, many people resort to black box of neural network. Now, with this size of problem, often what is thought of is dimensional reduction, and people often attempt PCA, principal components analysis. However, this adds significant load instead of saving it, in effect, because we have to iteratively find the eigenvalues in the original large space, and this is very expensive. So instead, I select significant axes based on small values of the Mahalanobis scaling. Now, Mahalanobis distance computation only relies on a Cholesky triangular matrix, and that decomposition only needs to be done once. Each cloud is processed individually, and so each one then resides in its own subspace, which depends on its own shape. That's connected with how the Mahalanobis scaling is computed. And this actually aids the classification effectiveness. Right, reflections on Rust. I implemented a number of related crates on crates IO, simple generation of random numbers because the existing crate is just too big for my purposes. A benchmarking suite to be able to time algorithms. 1D medians, which is quite an interesting problem in its own right, i.e., doing it efficiently. Index vec, which is sorting, searching, and indexing and printing sets, and Rstats, which is the main subject of this talk. So, observations. Rust allows running the above large problem on my home desktop, which would be somewhat impractical with Python. It allows functional chaining, which I like, and in effect no execution errors, which allows concentrating on the conceptual problems, which is much more interesting than errors. And also easy multi-threading using Rayon package. And one minus I would mention is that implementing generic traits on top of the out-of-crate vec type should have really been easier than it was. So the implementation of the Rstats is divided into several different traits on top of the vec or vec of x. And they are basically distinguished by the number of vec arguments that their methods take. So stats, which is usually just a single collection of numbers, that is one vec argument. Vec-G, methods of vector algebra and information theory, which usually take two vectors, i.e. scalar product. Mutable ones, where some methods are more efficient if we mutate the self, though I try to avoid that because it destroys the functional chaining. Vec U8, some algorithms can be more efficiently implemented for U8 type. Vector vectors, and this is for the dealing with the multidimensional space and vectors in d dimensions. And it's another version of that which takes an extra generic argument, typically a vector of weights, for example, to find weighted geometric median of points with varying importance, such as time dependence, as actually is the case in this particular problem application. All right, I'll introduce some new concepts in this great median correlation as opposed to, say, Pearson's correlation, where in effect we subtract the medians in order to normalize the two vectors instead of the mean as Pearson does. And then the correlation is just the angle between these two data collections interpreted as n-dimensional vectors. This is the same as Pearson's, in fact. Comedians matrix, it's not because it's funny, but it's to do with the medians again. So it's like covariance matrix, but we subtract the median, in this case the geometry median in n dimensions, and then we compute the covariance as normal. And generalization of the median of absolute deviations from median into ND, where we replace the deviations from the median by the distances from the geometric median, which are already always positive scalars. So we move on to code example and benchmark test. So the benchmark involves arithmetic mean or the centroid, and essentially this is just defined by the sum of the vectors to all the points in the set being 0 from the median, whereas the geometric median is in the place where the sum of unit vectors to all the points is 0. So as you can see, because of the unit vectors, the the square of the distance becomes less important, and the effect of this is that it's less susceptible to outliers. The drawback is that it can only be found iteratively. So my GM algorithm is perhaps not the fastest known, but it is relatively simple and easy to parallelize. So I've implemented several versions. One is serial, one is parallel, one is incremental, so you can throw in some more points and see how they affect the geometry median. And this actually tells you how important they might be to the learning. Um, So I've solved the instability and convergence problems of the original Weisfeld algorithm. So here is the actual geometric median algorithm. I will not go into great detail because I don't really have enough time, but essentially we're just computing distances to all the points in the set. We are then dividing the vectors by those distances in order to obtain the unit vectors. We are creating a vector sum of those unit vectors, and that tells us the direction in which we need to iterate in order to find a more accurate geometric median. How far we go in the direction is determined by scaling, and the scaling constant is the sum of the reciprocals. So having computed these uh, distances, we compute the reciprocals, add them all up, and then we multiply in the direction and gets us more accurate estimate. So as this is iterative, we'll have some epsilon, the desired accuracy, and when that is, or this sum here is always increasing, so we just need to test whether the increment gets small enough, and that is the successful termination. And as it iterates, we just assign these back. So that is the basic algorithm. As I said, there are some versions of it. Here is a benchmark using one of my crates, which are essentially auxiliary crates for the development. In this case, the times crate, which does the timing of different algorithms and prints it out in pretty colors, as you can see. You can give it various parameters, such as the size of the vectors that you want to use for testing, the number of steps, the
Your
increments,
your,
the
your time is
and how many
up. Could you please summarize?
time is up.
It's almost
Okay,
up. Can you sorry?
all right. So conclusion: how does this approach compete with 738 data scientists running existing neural nets libraries in SciPy? Well, here is my last year's rank. I know I messed up with their new data format and got picked to the post in the last minute. Thank you very much.